Hello, Mark Crossfield here. Welcome to another Cold Swing the Weekly Fix, or should I say Golf Swing the Weekly Fix. It's Tuesday again, it's freezing again, the weather people are telling us it's going to warm up some point here in the UK, but loads of swings to get through. We've got question of the week, we've got no golf talk this week because the Easter break has got ahead of my schedule, if you like. It's kind of beating my schedule, I've run out of time, but we've got plenty of swings, we've got question of the week. Let's get stuck in. So first swing here, this is a great swing with this lighting on this camera to start thinking about some angles and try and get you guys to think a little bit more about trying to monitor your shots and then relate it back to maybe what the club is doing and the path is doing. So we see the shot go off and it starts left, starts quite low, and then we really see it curving back towards his target or even slightly right of his target. And there's a few issues, obviously. We're using 2D video, so we've got issues with perspective, which we can kind of judge, but not as accurately as some of these machines will do. We've got launch angles. We don't know where he struck it on the face. We don't even know what target he's aiming at, but let's guess a few of them. We can kind of see the target out in front of him, so we're going to go with the lines of the mat. Definitely can see the ball curving left to right. Now this player, subject to what he's thinking on, and obviously I don't know what he's thinking about, he's just sent the swing through the hand, might be thinking quite heavily about maybe trying to hit some positions, those kind of things, to try and hit straighter shots. So let's pretend he wants to get rid of his left to right shot, which lots of people want to. So assessing the image first off, so he strikes the ball and the ball appears to start left of his intended target. So that means his club face is actually close to the target. So it's pointing left, let's say 2 degrees for this incident, so 2 degrees closed of target. Then what we see is the ball curving off to the right, or back to target, or maybe beyond. So that means his path is swinging left of that face, which was 2 degrees left of target. So he's now, let's say, swinging the club 8 left, so -8, so swinging 8 from out to in, as you guys know. And then let's say his face is 6 degrees open to 8 left. Are you with me? There's a few numbers flying around here. So his face is open to the path, 6 degrees, giving him the curve. But then we've got the face closed to the target, which is why the ball's starting left. And just from this image, I'm wondering how many of you are out there practicing, actually watching these kind of numbers, picking a target, see where you start your ball, and then see which direction it spins, then trying to use some of these, and I've talked about them in lots of videos, club face to target, face to path kind of rules. The other thing that happens in this video, and this isn't a dead cert, this one is the guess, which is why these machines are so much better than 2D guessing, is the ball starts quite low, so suggests he's hitting down at the ball. Well, if he's hitting 8 to the left, then there's a good chance he is hitting down. Not always the case, but there's a good chance he is striking down. So let's say he's hitting 4 down at that shot as well. Starts low, starts left because the face is closed, spins to the right because the face is open to the path. Are you with me? So as soon as you start getting some of those numbers clearer in your head, and I'm sure some of you are out there just thinking, what has he just said? But for those of you who are still with me, a good way of fixing this for him is not to actually think maybe of so many positions. Think a little bit about trying to fix those numbers. So let's think. His club face is closed to the target. So if he simply moves his path more to target, or even slightly to the right of target, ball's still going to start left, but then it's actually going to shape the other way, a draw, which then might make him reassess the way he uses his club face. Or another way about going around it, and I've gone both ways with students. Some students take the certain ways better. Let's say his face is closed, so pointing left, to left. It's open to his path, but close to the target. Well, if we were to get him swinging, say, let's say, actually go back to his path. His path is 8 left. So let's try and get his face 10 left of target, 2 closed of path. So his face is now close to his path, and what that will do is the ball will start way left and then hook, so it kind of takes all the reward away for having the face open to the path. So you could deal with the path, or you could deal with the face to path, and both, like I say, have good or positive or negative effects on different kind of students. So look, for you, starting the ball left, why don't you, for me to start you off, I would like to see you try and hit a few shots, and I've done this lots recently and it really works with people, where we see you swinging left. So let's forget the face for now, let's see you swinging left We see quite a lot of rotation, hips, shoulders rotating to the left as you come into impact and hitting the ball. I want you to hit a few shots where you stand straight, make your normal backswing, try and swing your arms more out to the right. So literally try and feel like your arms are swinging more away from your body while keeping your body quite square on. So literally what people would call an armsy swing. So not so much at this. Keep your body quite straight on and swing your arms away from yourself. If you do that, a few things are going to happen. So for me, if I was to keep my body square on and try and swing my arms out in front of my body, I'll start naturally creating a bit of spine tilt, which might make you hit up at the ball a bit more, or even level, or less down, depending on which one you want to hit, subject to your clubhead speed. It looks quite strong, your clubhead speed. You could probably hit one down, you're just a lot down. So this, keeping your body square on but throwing your arms out in front of you, might give you a bit more tilt for a better angle of attack. Trying to swing your arms out to the right is going to give you a better path, so not so far to the left. And then, with those two bits of the puzzle in place, you might find your club face just naturally starts to blend with your new path of being straight or even slightly to the right. You might find that the face now actually decides to want to close to the path, which often happens for people. You don't have to talk about the face. The other way of thinking about it, so you can try both of these ways and let me know if you have any luck. You're swinging 8 left, so I want you to try and close the face down 10 degrees. So I want you to just feel like you can hit it. So at this fence here, as we got on the range, is just straight left, hooking left. So I want you to take the club back, feel like you're pointing it more at the floor. I want you to come down and feel like you're pointing it more at the floor, and then just hit through it as hard as you can, feeling like that face is pointing left. See if you can get the ball curving right to left. Don't care where it goes with reference to your target. So as soon as that happens, if you were to try and hit shots like that as a default, you'd probably naturally start to swing more out towards target, less to the left, because the reward for swinging left has been taken away because now the face is closed to the path. 2 ideas there, guys, to think about, and much more about trying to manipulate the starting point of the ball, where you're swinging the club, rather than thinking so much about hitting in maybe a million positions. And often for people, these kind of simpler thoughts built around the maybe more complex numbers really is a strong and powerful way to learn this game and to play better shots. So you're using science, you're using 3D striking kind of ball connection technology, you're measuring angles in 3 dimensions, so angle of attack, swing plane, swing path, face to path. But what you're then doing is using simple thoughts like swinging your arms, keeping your body still, turning the club to the ground, turning the club to the ground. Simple language to try and move the numbers, to move the ball. Once you've got the ball moving a little bit more the way you want to, then you could really start to fine tune by thinking about how far your shoulders are turning, side bends, hip thrusts, all those kind of things as well. Let me know if this makes sense, guys. I'd love to hear. Post comments down below, and let me know which one you try and both. Person in the video, post a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Does it make sense? Can you manipulate it? And just learning from your shots for all of you is such a great way to start trying to understand some of these numbers that I'm talking about in the videos. So some quick fixes here. What we're seeing is 2 swings here where we see a lot of forward thrusts, so waist towards the ball, high hands, and then a big flip out on the way through. It's hitting quite heavily into out, hips going towards the body. Similar action here. Pretty neat backswing here, then a real desire to swing out to the right, hook the ball back, hips go towards the ball, hands get very high. You need to get your hands lower and think about turning through a little bit more rather than thrusting towards the ball, so keeping your hips almost more back as your hands come through a bit low. If you look at me on the other side here, you'll see that I'm exiting much further left on the way through. You both have this big desire to exit the ball, hit the ball, and try and get the club exiting more out to the right. You need to try and feel like your hands and the club are exiting more into the left for you guys to hit better shots. Very classic problem here. People try and gain a lot of power this way. We need things exiting a lot more left for you to hit these straighter shots. It's a little bit upright in the posture here. I'd like to see just a fraction more lent over. Then what we see as we go back, we see a little bit of a dip as you try to correct this posture almost on the backswing. And then we see a lot of rotation on the way through, so hips basically just wanting to go this way backwards on the downswing, don't seem to want to go forwards at all. I'd like to see a little bump towards the target on the downswing. And then at the same time, with this over rotation on the downswing, hips and shoulders see the big over the top swing, very classic action. So I'd like to see a little bit better posture, and then a downswing where you're just trying to move into the ball a little bit more onto your left side, try and get through to get this club path a little bit more neutral rather than quite so across the ball, high hands and across the ball as we're seeing here. Thanks for sending. So, question of the week. Hi Mark, I was wondering whether you could do a video on how to stop fat shots. I had a round the other day and kept doing it. It was the worst round for months. Is practicing on the mat helping or not? Thanks. Right, Dom. Fat shots. Fat shots often quite commonly misunderstood, actually. I mean, you can hit a fat this way, but lots of people think they're hitting fat shots because they're coming down too much. Those kind of things. Fat shots often come because the low point of your circle, let's pretend the club is coming or on this side, kind of hula hoopy stuff, the low point is simply often before the ball. That could be a weight shift, club path, those kind of things could do that. Great way of getting rid of fat shots. You've got to try and move low point ahead of the ball. So what happens is you hit the ball on the descent. Let's say we're using an iron. I've got a 7-iron in my hand here. Hit on the way down, then low point after you striking. So you're hitting the ground after you've hit the ball rather than hitting the ground before. Simple drill I use for people, certainly when warming up. I do lessons with people who struggle with this. And the first, say, 10-15 shots, I get them to address the ball normally. Then I get them to keep the club where the ball would be, put the ball off their big toe on their front foot, and then really get up and reach for that ball. It gives them the feeling of trying to get low point ahead. It gives them the feeling of trying to move up for the strike rather than maybe staying back, rotating back, or maybe trying to hit more from the inside, which I see lots of people trying to do, which often gets low point too far back. So again, dress the ball with the club where it should be, so near the middle of my stance, put the balls up towards my left big toe, and I'm striking them as good as I would. They go a bit left because my club's travelling that way a bit at that point, but and the face is also. I'm striking them as good as I would anything else because that's not actually far away from where my club would be anyway at that point, just coming out of the turf. So great way once you've done that, same kind of feeling, still trying to feel like you're hitting through the ball, up ahead of it, get low point forwards of it. You'll chase up for it, you'll find that fat shots might disappear or should disappear, and hopefully you'll hit some better strikes. Thanks for sending the question in. Hope that helps. Let me know how you get on. So some classic junior hips here coming into the ball. So neat little posture. You can see didn't quite get hold of that. We see he's actually around the ball as he comes in to hit it. He's the other side of it. But I don't think I've seen as much thrusting forwards here. I mean, this is the most thrusting forward I think I've ever seen. Juniors tend to do this very active on the way through as they try to hit out their boots to try and send the ball. A lot more work, as you can see from the drills, one-legged kind of things where you really feel that you're trying to get your body and arm speed increased and calm your hips down. Your hips get a little bit too funky for you to make any kind of consistent level of strike. Lots of potential, could hit a lot of good shots, just need to get a bit more control of those junior hips. So classic over the top action again here, left-hander. What we're seeing is very much the shaft plane steeper than the hand plane on the way down. So let's say hand plane maybe about here. You can see the shaft plane is steeper, so one initial thought is to try and feel like you're flattening that shaft plane off. Often works for people. Next thing we see is ginormous amounts of hip rotation, so getting all the front leg out of the way, right leg for you, to give yourself all this room to swing across the ball. You need to feel that you're trying to drop that shaft plane a little bit on the downswing, and in turn not so rotational with your hips on the downswing. Think about them going more forwards before even turning them back. And for lots of people, don't even think about turning them back. The shoulders turning on top of those hips will open those hips enough. So big spin out, out to in action, classic big hoik to the right for you, or we're going to get the big spinny shots back off to the left. Thanks for posting. Hope that helps. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments, love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show, get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.